Hey guys, what's going on? It's Spot the Aussie here, your favorite F1 motorsport manager today doing the Monaco race. But before we get into it, I've got some big announcements to announce. Charles Leclerc actually followed me on Twitter and he actually liked the last tweet, which is when I posted the last race where he made his debut at Hockenheim and did a really good result for us and actually kept our career as our manager because we were actually going to be kicked out of the team if we didn't get inside the points, and that's what he did for us. Be sure to check him out on Twitter and also give him a follow. On that note, every single person and his dog has been telling me in the comment section below is that he's actually not from Poland at all. That flag, that Poland flag upside down is actually Monaco, which doesn't make him Polish at all. He's actually, someone had told me he's Monegasquian? Monacan? I didn't even know you could be born there. I mean, technically you can be born anywhere, right? But that's where he's from. So everyone out there, thanks for letting me know. That's great to clear up. I've actually been to Monaco myself. And another thing is, his name's actually not pronounced Leclerc. It's Leclerc. It's French, right? So I've been mistakenly pronouncing his name incorrectly this entire time. Try to get that a little bit better, but it's Leclerc. It's Charles Leclerc. But that's another thing to note. The other thing to note is, I'm actually going to be doing a game giveaway. We did one last season. Why not do another one this season? I'm feeling generous. The Motorsport Manager people are really cool. So let's do that. Let's do that for you guys. What you have to do is, you have to guess where Mick Schumacher and also Charles Leclerc are going to come in the last race of the season. All you have to do is be a subscriber on YouTube, and you have to let me know in the comment section below where you think they're going to come. Do you think they're going to come 1st and 2nd? Do you think they're going to come 11th and 7th? You have to tell me which driver is going to come in which position exactly. Whoever gets that right will ultimately win the game. If we don't actually get anyone who picks the correct positions, it will be the person who gets the closest. If there's multiple people that give me the same answer, all I'm going to do is simply, draw those names out of a hat. I can't imagine too many people getting it exactly correctly, but in case they do, you never know, it might happen. Now, there's only one rule to all this, is that you can guess as many times as you want, but only your last comment is actually going to be your answer. So if you did a guess today, and you said that you think they're going to be 20th and 10th, and then next week you think that they're actually going to do much better because they have much improved cars during the development of our car throughout the season, and you guess 6th and 3rd, that means that your answer for 6th and 3rd is now your new answer. And you can guess on any of my YouTube videos all the way up till round 15. So feel free, you don't have to comment just on this one, you can comment on all the ones up to the end. The other thing is, if you want to tweet me an answer as well, if you follow me on Twitter and you tweet me an answer, that will actually count as a separate second guess. So you can actually have 2 live guesses where you can tweet it to me, but you can also just comment to me on YouTube and they will act independent of each other. So technically you'll have 2 guesses going into the competition. So that's pretty much it. That's a little bit of fun for you guys to kind of have while you're watching my series, where you think they're going to come in the last round of this season at Abu Dhabi. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Spot the Aussie here, your favorite motorsport manager, currently doing the Monaco GP. And let me tell you, I've actually been told in the comment section by a million people that it's not Leclerc, it's Leclerc. That doesn't even sound Polish. I don't know how that works, but at the moment we've qualified 13th and 19th. We're in the thick of it. Leclerc has the better car. Schumacher's returned to his former self. His house is no longer on fire, so he's not so much worried about his personal possessions, and all of his traits are back up. But he does have the second car this time rather than the first car. So we're just currently waiting out for the track to grip up a little bit more, and the track grips up more when there's more cars out there and doing more laps. At the moment you can see there's no one actually doing any laps, so I'm kind of hoping at about the 2:30-minute mark we're about to send out Leclerc. Hopefully we'll be able to go behind Schumacher by a bit of a gap, by 30 seconds or so, and then we'll pick up some little bit more track grip, and it's going to be down to the wire. If we can improve by like 0.7 of a second, we can jump into the top 10. That's not going to happen. I mean, we'll do our best. Let's send out Schumi. Let's see if he can improve. Send him out on a fresh set of tires. Look at his stops. That's good to go. And he's going to roll. I just want to know what's been happening, guys. I know you guys have actually been loving the series so far. I've actually loved this this return to the F1 series. I really feel like, even though we're in a much more struggling car, it just feels better. Like, I'm just enjoying the game a lot more, you know what I mean? GP2, I think, wasn't that big of a challenge, because when you're given the best car in the series, or one of the top 3 cars with some of the best drivers, it doesn't feel like it's that big of a deal. That last race was absolutely amazing. That strategy, the way that it played out, the late minute call to going for wet tyres and not sticking out on intermediates. Everything just played out like a fiddle. Scoring 6 overall, getting that happiness up with the chairman. And now we're trying to get Schumacher into the green zone. So that's the strategy. Go all the way to about that area, and then you pull down. That's to get the tyre temp and brake temp into the green zone. It's really fine. It's really skinny, but it's definitely worth it. If you can get in there, there's approximately maybe, you know, a couple of tenths clear. There we go, in the green. Perfect, perfect. Boom! Can we do it 2 for 2 here? I don't know if we can do it 2 for 2. Look at Leclerc. I'm going to struggle pronouncing that. It's like I have to stop myself from speaking and then just say Leclerc out loud. Anyway, brake temp seems to be getting in there. It's good, it's perfect, it's not great, it's not amazing. It's good and perfect. So it's in between the seat spot. He's got 30 seconds across the line. He's going to be able to do that. And look at Schumacher. He's down by 1.5 seconds, but he's up on his first split. I notice our cars seem to struggle at the second split, though. That's the biggest place we lose, about 3 to 4 seconds every time these guys went around doing their earlier session laps. Leclerc hasn't been able to improve. His fastest lap time was actually set the first time he went out, when that was the initial session, when the initial session started. So he actually hasn't gone any faster. Schumacher's gone a little bit faster. He's down by 4.599 seconds. That's still way off the pace, but it's actually an improvement for him. Maybe he can jump up into the top 17. Leclerc seems to be up at the second sector, so that's good for us. We're trying to get into the top 10. It's not going to be possible. We're already down by 3.5 seconds, so we're aiming for about 12th, maybe a little bit of an improvement. Can we do it? No, we can't. Better lap time, but not good enough in order to jump in. In fact, we're off by 1.3 seconds. That's huge. I'm kind of hoping that there must be like a rainy day or some sort of a catastrophe for qualifying in order for us to jump through to the front. Otherwise, I'm going to be really scared because I don't know if we've got the equipment to do it. Hamilton obviously picks up pole. He picks up pole by how much? 0.6 of a second. Where's Habsburg? 9th. Ugh. He's off by 3 seconds. Wouldn't that be like demoralizing to see a teammate do that much better? Because it just goes to show how much of a, you know, not as good as a driver. It looks cloudy. I don't think it's going to rain. I would love for it to rain. I'd love for a bit of a throw up. Here we go. What are we going to pick? I think we're going to stick with the soft tyres to begin with. Both drivers seem to be able to do quite well on the ultras. They do about double on the softs. What we might do for Schumacher is hold him out in the softs. That way, he'll overcut a couple of cars, be able to hold them up like we've been using our second tier car usually in these battles. I had to build an engine for him. I didn't want to build an engine. I'd rather just give all the better components to Charles Leclerc. He's got the better components, but I had to build an engine rather than, you know, what's crucial for this race is brakes, suspension, and front wing, obviously, because it's a real technically street circuit. So we weren't able to focus on anything. I'm kind of glad that we've gone a little bit fast. It's just a shame we're not up there in the green zone. What are we going to do for him? He can do 20 laps. That's how much of a better driver he is in terms of getting the smoothness out of the car. So what I'm thinking is we're going on an ultra set of tyres, and then we do 2 sets on the softer compounds. So that will mean I will want to set up their cars for the softer compounds. Even though they're only 10%, even though they're only 10%, it's going to be worth it. They'll be able to get more out of it because I'll be doing more stints on those set of tyres. More laps. Whatever you're doing more laps on, always go with that tyre as the knowledge improvement. Because you think about it, if you're doing more laps on one set of tyres over the other ones, then you're getting a better performance boost overall, even though it's only 10% versus 15%. So I'm going to go straight into attack mode. I'm not too worried about being conservative because we're going to do a 2-stop strategy anyway. So we'll have a little bit of a room to free play with both cars. Schumacher's not going to get in the points. Schumacher's main job here now is to overcut everyone, get in front, pull everyone back, and try to stick to that type of strategy. He's got the soft tyres. Is that Surican already with a mechanical issue? Anyway, we've got the start of the Monaco GP. Leclerc, he gets a pretty good start off the line, but his queue's actually blocked up, so he's going to be pushed all the way back into 14th already. Can he snicker down the inside of this track? I don't think he's... Ooh, actually there's 3-1 into the first corner, into the second corner. He doesn't have the speed for it. The great thing about Leclerc is that he's got the easy on fuel trait as a permanent trait, which means he uses up less fuel. Look at that, he's actually jumped all the way up into 11th position. He's actually fought his way through that pack, and now he's got a slow Alonso up ahead of him. But he's able to squeeze all the way through. He just gets through the middle and punches through the power and absolutely gets it into gear. That was a great move by him in order to do that. We're fighting through the pack. We're essentially fighting for position. That's what we want to do here. We want to try to get out ahead as many people as we can. We know we're going to get lapped, so it's not that big of a deal if we do go into overtake mode. He is fighting for that position quite clinically. He's on the inside, outside. He's obviously fighting a much better car than him with the Ferrari engine underneath it. He's got the inside line again. He's down the inside. Who's following him? Is that Alonso who's going to follow him? And he's actually put the gun down and gunned it out of that corner and been able to get a little bit of a gap. Leclerc he's a pretty good pedaler. Like, you got to give it to him. He's just defended Alonso again. 3-time world champion, Alonso. Just defended so easily, or is he only 2-time? I don't know. We've got into 9th position, so we're past Perez. What's everyone doing? They must be on a more conservative strategy. I'm not too worried again about the tyres because I think we're going to be able to push with each compound of sets that we do. There's no point being conservative in my eyes. This is all about attacking and trying to keep up in that top 10. I'm really surprised Schumacher's actually down into... He's down into 20th position. He's behind Räikkönen and RGP. That's how much of a car difference these two guys have. But Leclerc, I believe, is the overall better driver. He might be like a little bit less on the overall stars, but he has the traits where you want them. He's got less feedback, which doesn't matter because we use Rossi to use the practice sessions. But he's got much better like overtaking, smoothness, cornering, braking, and that's where he's able to make up for it. Look at him; he's actually put a gap over the guys behind him. So Perez, Alonso, Habsburg, Faruku. He's doing a really good job out there. Now, we must be pushing through the roof because I don't think anyone else would be pushing as much as we are. In fact, they're not because they're all down into the normal mode. And if we go down into normal mode, how much of a gap are they going to be able to pull back on us? I don't think it should be that much. We might just get up into fast mode. Schumi's up into 18th position, so he's actually fighting with the backpack of cars. I think his race is pretty much done. I don't think he's going to be able to jump anyone. Let's put him into high mode so he can make the most of that evening stint. We'll actually go into overtake mode because his car doesn't matter so much. It's all eyes on Leclerc at the moment, who's chasing down Button in the Williams. I bet you didn't think you'd see Button in the Williams. Again, yeah, he was back in the Williams in like the 2000s or something. I'm sure of it. Leclerc, let's have a look at those last lap times. Wow, the front of us, 122, 23, 24, 26, 25, and we're doing what now? We're doing like 128 compared to like Button who did a 126 and a 127 by Alonso. I'm going into overtake mode. I'm pushing out as much fuel as we possibly can now, and then I'll pull it back later in the race. I just don't want to be battling Alonso for position. I'd rather just get away from him. He's actually locked up somewhere, so let's just start to push. Let's absolutely put this race engineering Formula 1 car through its paces and try to push away from him as much as possible without letting him through. I think we can actually race for position with Alonso. I think we have what it takes to keep up with him. His tyre tread is at 41%, ours is still at 48%. So we're not too badly affected as much as he is at the moment. He's actually indicating to pit, so we don't want to lose track position over him. Once he does pit, I am going to wind the car back a little bit, so we're not going to be using up too much. I'm just keeping a steady eye on that fuel load. The weather mode, because I don't want to be caught out by a dampening rain out of nowhere. He's churning through the tyres, so let's go back into neutral mode. There's no need to push up on the car in front. Let's go back to medium mode. He's done a great job sticking out ahead of Alonso. He's had to pit one lap earlier. Everyone else is actually pitting now as well. Can Schumacher get ahead of them and slow them down? Not really. None of the cars that we wanted him to. And he looks like he's already been lapped by Hamilton. It's quite strange, isn't it? To be lapped already. But considering Leclerc's probably only got the next lap to go on these tyres before they go below 25%, I am going to push like a madman. Ooh. Schumacher has crashed. Schumacher has crashed. There is a safety car leaving. Let's go into low mode. Is that what? Yeah, everyone's starting to do it. Schumacher has crashed, and that could have been much better timing. We have timed that to perfection. We're like Fabio Briatore. We've pushed Schumacher, and he's crashed right at the time that we needed to pit. So that's actually perfect for us. Really handy, actually. Look at his car all the way in the back. Will we be able to catch the safety car? That's the other question. Leclerc coming into the pits. What do we want to do? Do we want to go out in soft tyres? Or do we want to go out on ultra softs? I think we stick on soft tyres and see how we go. And then we can even probably come out again on the ultra softs. We could make that work. Let's do a fast pit stop because I want to try to overtake... Who's that ahead of us? If we can overtake 7th position Button, that's going to be huge for us. So in we come, we're in the pits. Let's watch this pit stop. We've only got one car to focus on, so that's fine. It's Leclerc's daydream, I guess, or dreaming. Look, it's a good stop, 4.4 seconds. It wasn't fast enough in order to come out ahead of Button, but it is fast enough to come out ahead of whoever the hell that is. Is that... Don't let him ahead, don't let him ahead, don't let him ahead. Who was that? 9th position. Wow, so we've just come out... I actually thought that was a Mercedes coming up behind us. But it's actually... another Williams. We've leapfrogged another Williams? How did that even happen? Anyway, that's good news for us. We've been able to leapfrog Bottas. Hopefully this queue isn't going slow enough that we're not going to be able to catch the guys at the front. Nah, it's not going to be a drama for us. It's a bit of a shame. I would have preferred for us to be able to push away from everyone and then kept it up because we had good position. Everyone else is going to be at, you know, be on the same kind of... they're all going to be together, so that kind of like squishes all strategy for everyone. Considering we had good track position in 9th, and we're being very competitive with that car. It's a bit of a shame. The restart, we're going to go into overtake mode on both sides because I do not want to lose track position of Bottas. We lose it straight away, but we regain it in the bit of a fumble that happened there. Habsburg's been able to push up to 9th. In fact, Habsburg's been able to leapfrog us, and there's a lot of cars being lapped at the moment, being completely trashed, because I think Hamilton must have leapfrogged them, and then we've been caught up in this little bit of a sticky bait to battle with everyone else kind of around us. And that's the challenging Faruku behind us. So that kind of safety car didn't actually work in our favour as much as we thought. That wasn't good news. Someone else is just locked up. It was Faruku, so that's actually really good news for us. And this race is completely underway. We've just been passed by Alonso, and then we back passed him. The main thing is, what are we doing for fuel-wise? We're going to go back into medium mode. Everyone is still pushing. We're going to go into high mode, actually. Let's just leave it in high mode, see how we go. We're pushing those tyres to the nth degree because they're still in that colder segment, that colder tyre degree at the moment. So there's no point not pushing to get them much higher. And because of that reshuffle, we're currently battling for that track position of 8th, 9th, and 10th. Safety car did not play out in our favour. Schumacher absolutely screwed us over, but what do? We're going to have to make this work somehow, and make it work we shall. So this is going to be Leclerc's race to see what he can do in this position. We've been in a similar spot before. If he can get 10th or above, keep us in the points, keep us in the target position for our sponsor and get us that money, that's going to be huge. The main thing is, as the manager, we're going to have to make the right pit stops, the right calls, everything else that comes along with that to ensure that he gets the job done. Hulkenberg has had to pit for track position because his tyres are completely scrubbed. I'm surprised he didn't come in earlier. But we're now battling. We've jumped up into 7th position. So we're ahead of Button, Alonso, Habsburg. It's another 3-way battle. It's a 5-way battle. It's a 5-way car battle between 7th all the way down to 11th, and we're kind of leading that train right now, and we're pushing while everyone else is kind of conserving right now and probably being a little bit more strategic. But I think if we can get it, if we can push ahead far enough, I'm happy to go for another set of softs, considering we've got a knowledge bonus of soft tyres for 15% bonus. The ultras will probably not come into play now, considering that safety car kind of didn't work the way that we wanted it to. It's probably not going to work for us. We're going to have to go back into neutral mode because we are starting to burn up those tyres much more than what I wanted. Alonso is trailing quite closely. It's a bit of a gap back to Button though, however. And we're currently 7th. Hamilton, is he going to be able to lap us? The answer is yes. He's already going to lap us by being in that spot now. So let's go into overtake mode. Push out as much as we can. Burn up as much excess fuel as we possibly can as well. And we're just getting swamped now because I don't think we're pushing as hard. I think we need, in order for our car to be competitive, we need to push. Whereas everyone else can get away with being a lot more complacent. And that battle is just, it's pretty stricken right now. I think Faruku's going to be screwed over by his tyre degradation at 30%. 10th Habsburg, 10th is 45%. Hamilton's just pitted for another set of soft tyres, so he's going to come out behind everyone yet again. Kind of chase up the lead, so we're going to be lapped at least once. I'm going to happily say that we'll be lapped at least once. Leclerc doing a great job. He's currently in 9th, holding that spot. Button has great tyre degradation. He's no longer a target for us, I believe. We're starting to really eat up on the fuel, so I'm going to have to push back a little bit here. While Habsburg is actually in conserve mode, he's got less tyre tread. I'm actually surprised by how good Leclerc's tyre reliability is, how well he's able to look after him while still pushing the car. We've just passed the halfway mark, as we're going to pass for the 24th lap as we cross the line. Let's have a look at those lap times by everyone around us. Button doing a 127 flat. We've done a 127.9. Habsburg's done a 127.9 as well. Probably because we're holding him up to a small degree. His tyres are about to burn up though. He's gone into conserve mode, so we should be able to push away from him a little bit while that's happening. He's also going to get below 25% this lap. That we might be able to push one more lap than he does, so that might actually come into our favour. Let's start to push. Let's actually start to push our car into the pits. I think we're going to get to that 25% mark by the time we come in. I don't want to push it one extra lap. I can't see an advantage of doing that. So I'd rather come in while it's still about 27, 26% rather than going below 25. Kept it in that meaty spot. That's alright. We're going to come in the pits now. And let's come in for another set of soft 20 laps. That means we'll have a little bit to play with. I want to do a fast pit stop strategy. I'm not so much worried about the park condition. He doesn't go in the pits. Why does that happen? Wait a minute. Habsburg doesn't come in the pits either. So this might actually work out in our favour to some degree. What's he doing? He's actually going into conserve mode. So we too are going to go on conserve mode while we hold that tyre degradation around. Let's see if we're much slower, much faster that lap than we were the last lap. We did a 127.2, which is actually 0.7 faster. Our race pace is 0.043, which is a little bit of a surprise. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to indicate that we're going to pit now, which will give us a little bit more tyre degradation. We're going to push on these baggedy tyres. What happens when you go into attack mode on these tyres? It wears them a lot faster, but that's okay because they're already starting to go in. So it's about doing a really fast in lap, and we're about to get lapped. But if we go into overtake mode, we shouldn't be blue flagged for too long, which shouldn't hold us up like Hamilton just did the Habsburg. So we've got that blue flag indication. There we go. So we've actually pulled a bit of a gap over Habsburg purely because we didn't get overlapped. We got the blue flag, but it didn't slow us up too much. So that's actually a really good stop for us. We're going to go into complete attack mode and overtake mode for one outlap. We want to make sure that we get ahead of Habsburg. We want to make sure that we try to get ahead of Hulkenberg. The gap to Alonso is too big at the moment. We're not actually going to pass him. Look at him. He's already there. He's gone. He's beyond us. Perez, that's not an issue. The issue now, our target position is Hulkenberg and Habsburg. Habsburg did an extra lap on those tyres at 16%. His tyre wear hasn't yet affected his tyre times. There they go. He's going slower by 0.314. And Hulkenberg is also going 2.2 seconds faster than what he was in that last lap. That's actually pretty amazing for him to be able to do that. So we shouldn't have to pit anymore. That's actually a really good sign for us. I just want to keep watching this reliability, his park conditions, because anything could happen. Leclerc goes past. He's in 10th position at the moment. Who's ahead of us? It is Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg is how far ahead of us? He still has to pit. He's probably going to only have to pit for like a set of Ultra Softs. So he probably has track position over us, considering that he'll come out on a much fresher set of tyres. How's Habsburg going? Where is Habsburg in relation to us? We've got at least 12 seconds over Habsburg, so that's actually a really good sign. Let's go back into push mode. We don't want to completely write off these tyres. We're just happy to keep them where they're at. And we might just go back into medium mode to kind of pull the fuel back a little bit, but not too much. Van Dorn is pitted. He's way ahead of us as well. Who else is coming in the pit? Button is pitted. Button, does he have some sort of an issue? We come out ahead of Button, so that's actually pretty big as well. But coming out ahead of Button, he wasn't our target, but for some reason he's been slowed up in the pits and it's forced him to come out behind us. The gap to him is 7 seconds and probably closing. Look, he's already come out. He's pushing. He's got tyre meat to do it. He probably has the car to do it in as well. I'd imagine that gap will decrease by at least 2 seconds each lap. Look, it's already down to 5.5 seconds. We'll just monitor that gap as well. Our tyre usage has actually been pushed through the wall, through the roof. So let's go back into medium mode. Try and keep it consistent. Consistency will win races. Habsburg, where is he in relation to everyone else? Habsburg, again, is only on 56% tyre tread. He's absolutely dreaded those tyres. He's had a couple of brake lock-ups by the looks of it, and chewed them up, which is actually really good news for us, because that means he's not going to be a threat, and he'll have to pit at some stage. Perez is in the same boat. Perez's tyres are absolutely trash. So it looks like at the moment we're safe for 10th position. Could we hold on to 9th and possibly jump leapfrog Hulkenberg, who's decided to do more laps on those dreaded slitted tyres? There goes Button. He's actually fought us. No, we've actually fought back on Button. We've done a good job keeping him at bay behind us. Where is Hamilton in relation to us? I don't think Hamilton's going to be able to lap us again, so it's important that we don't keep pushing. Otherwise, we're going to have no fuel for the end of the race. Button has dropped back a little bit because he did get lapped by the charging Vettel. And that's given us a little bit of a breathing room. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into push mode. We've got 7 laps to go as we cross the line. But we want to go back into push mode and push these tyres to their absolute limits. If we can keep that gap ahead of Button and keep that 9th position, that would be a huge success for us. We'd also want to try to get ahead of Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg would be the real target. He's done a pit stop. He's come in. He's going to come out. He's come out well ahead of us. So he's actually been able to successfully overcut our strategy. He's on more fresher rubber. He'll be safe. He'll be safe at the moment for 8th position. We would need some sort of a technical issue for one of the top 10 races, the guys in the top 8, in order for us to leapfrog. But at the moment, we might be able to keep him at bay. I'd be really surprised if that was the case. We seem to be able to hold position right now. Is that Habsburg who's caught up behind us? He's on 37%, so he's a non-threat. I want to push away one more time from Habsburg. I don't want to get caught up. I'm happy for Habsburg to fight with Button for position and then have to pit anyway. Look at those tyres. I can't believe how much he's used up in relation to us. So I'm pretty safe to push away by now. For as long as we possibly can, I want to keep monitoring Hamilton. If Hamilton could lap us again, that would put us in an excellent, awesome position. We've been able to push away from this battle pack. Button holding up Habsburg. Habsburg fighting for that position, keeping themselves entertained for the moment, and then leaving us to our devices. Hey, Simi, come over. We're racing. Come over, Simi. Simi, come. Uh-oh. A panel just came off the front wing. Leclerc is just saying... come here, Simi, in the camera. He's just saying something came off the front panel. Look, it's orange, like my hair. That's bad. What are we going to do? We're going to have to go back into normal mode and not push as much. We've got a little bit of a gap. Actually, that gap is huge now. Look at that. They're actually fighting for position still. That's awesome. But the gap is 3.8 seconds to both of them. Because look at that. Habsburg is actually going to be able to pass them. Who's going to have the more grunt down the straight? Will it be the Mercedes of Habsburg or the Williams-powered Button? What do you think, Simi?
I'm not sure.
Take one. Pick one.
Benjamin Button.
Who's that?
You have never seen that movie?
Okay, we'll go with Button. Alright, nah, he doesn't. Button doesn't have the power. Oh, look, he's fighting back, Simi. He's come back on the inside. He's closed the door. Oh, you're right. It was Benjamin Button. What the hell's going on here? We're lapping like everyone. They're all like slow as leeches. Let us through. Stop holding us up. Is that Kubica? Wow, we'll have to go around the long way. What the hell's going on? Hopefully the back markers hold up everyone else as much as they hold us up. No, in fact they don't, because look at that. Who's that? Button just slits through the middle of them all and just says, see you later, alligator. I'm not too worried about the park condition. 27% of the front wing and something coming off is not that big of a deal. I think we're going to be able to risk it for the biscuit and stay ahead of Button. He's actually pushing now. He's pushing like a madman. I'm going to push as well. I just want to hold him back. Habsburg, what's the gap? His tyres are going to be gone. He's going to have to pit. He's out of this race. I don't know what he was thinking. Where's that position? We've just lost it now. We're fighting for the inside. We're now getting crossed up in the middle of it. We're coming back on the inside. We're going around the outside. Side by side. City! Yeah. Alright, now we're going around the outside again. Let's go into high mode while we push away for a little bit. I do not want to get caught up with Habsburg and that garbage car Mercedes that he has at the moment. Go back into medium. By closing the door every time, Leclerc is actually making a bit of a statement that it's not going to be an easy way to get past us, first of all. And second of all, that we are pushing a bit of a gap. Every time that he passes him, he actually closes the door like he should be. Hamilton, I was going to say Hamilton looks like he might be able to lap us, but at the moment he's actually got some sort of mechanical issue, so don't be surprised if he does come into the pits. Habsburg, what is he doing? He's still going around on those tyres. Why? Okay, we're going to have to go back into push mode again. As soon as he looks like he's going to threaten us, we're going to go back into push mode. We've got 15% tyre tread to play with before it gets really dangerous. But we've only got 4 laps to go once we cross the line. Where is Hamilton in relation to us? What is his times? He's doing 127s, 121s versus our 126s, and Button's doing 125s. Button's actually back on the attack. Go back into high mode. Push away. Get away from him. Get away from him. Go, 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 go. Put the pedal to the metal, my little Polish friend. And he's able to do it. Leclerc. Hey, Simi, come here. How would you pronounce this guy's last name?
I don't know. It sounded like you pronounced it correctly.
Leclerc?
Leclerc?
Leclerc? Leclerc. Okay.
I think the C would be softer.
Oh, no reason. Just asking, you know. The viewers didn't tell me that it's supposed to be pronounced Leclerc. I'm just saying that, like, you know, Leclerc. That's what I would say. Leclerc. Anyway. Alright, we've got 3 laps to go. We've actually been able to hold ahead of Button while he's fighting with Habsburg again. Habsburg finally comes to the pit, so we've definitely got 10th position on the cards. Perez is too far behind in order to do anything. Our main mission now is just to keep ahead of Button. I would have loved to have gone in front of Hulkenberg in order to ensure that we got that position. We're at 31% tire tread, so we're going to go back into neutral. Every time he looks to threaten us, that's when I'm going to go into high mode. How much tread does he have left? 44%. He's actually got a lot more than us. Our fuel seems to be coming back to us as well. We seem to be sucking up as much fuel and not laying it down as much, so that's actually a really good sign. Where is Ricciardo? No, they're way too far behind. We're going to have to do 2 more laps, guys. This is it. We're calling down the end of this race. The gap back to Button is 2.4 seconds, and it's decreasing every time we cross that line. We're actually starting to do 125s ourselves, so this car seems to be going faster and faster with every lap that we do. Hamilton has just set another faster sector. Is he going to be able to take the lead back? Nah, he's not going to be able to take the lead back at all. Here we go, Leclerc. Here we go. Let's go back into conserve mode. Hold up those tyres as much as you possibly can. And then when we need to push, we will push. Button's actually starting to push those tyres ridiculously right now. That's not good news. That's actually really scary for us. We have a little bit of fuel to play with, so we're actually going to push that fuel out. Go into attack mode. We're going to go into attack mode ourselves right now. Into push mode. Can we get side by side yet again? I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. Yes, we do. We're going to have to go back into medium mode, though, because it's actually ripping these tyres apart. At 22% tyre tread, it would be absolutely amazing to get this position back. He's gone back into conserve mode. We're not going to have enough to get to the line. Look, we got past in the last lap. There's not much we could have done. We've just gotten blue flagged by Verstappen, which is going to confirm Button for that position. A 10th place Leclerc. Not a bad job. Happy to be back in the points. Not so happy for Schumacher to crash out, but that's the way the baby bumbles sometimes. Alonso runs out of fuel. Where is Alonso? He's probably just crossed the line, right? Yeah, he just crossed the line. Unfortunate, guys, but we weren't able to hold on. Leclerc did the best job that he possibly could. I'm pretty stoked with that. Remember, Williams is that much ahead of us, it's not even funny. Let's just make sure that we don't get pinged for an illegal component. Moment of truth, the big one. Scrutineering, risk of rule break is high. We need to use illegal components, otherwise we're not going to be that fast. Nothing happens. Typical FIA fashion, doesn't pick up jack shit. Wow. Happens all the time, right? I mean, how the hell do Mercedes have a car that goes 30 seconds faster than everyone in a race? More than that. Ridiculously more than that. Actually, someone didn't get picked up. He got demoted 2 spots. It doesn't matter, you didn't score any points anyway. You actually just got demoted for the computer to be promoted. So, 10th position. Button. Where are we? Just a little bit of shock that we didn't get ahead of him. Is the big bad boss man going to be satisfied with that? I don't think he is, but we've got enough of a buffer that it's not going to be 0. So he's not going to give him an ultimatum just yet. We've still got a fighting chance. We've got to build the right components, get this car sorted, down to 10%. So literally, the next race we don't come 6 or above. Oh, we only lost 6% because of that race. I don't know how that works sometimes. Sometimes it's 10%, sometimes it's -6. Who knows? It's just like a guessing game. So, Schumacher goes up, his morale goes down a little bit, the relationship with Alex Gray goes up. Now, Alex Gray is the mechanic that gives you super overtake mode, which is what we had for Schumacher, but I've changed them, because Leclerc has the ability to use less fuel as a driver trait. So the idea there is, I can give him super overtake mode without draining as much fuel as Schumacher's car. So it works out. It's going to take probably, you know, 6 to 7, 8 races before we get that relation to 100% to unlock it, but that's the way we're going to have to make it work, I guess. There is 2.685 mil as a payout. Not too bad, not too shabby. I'm actually pretty excited about that payout. The payout has gone down considerably because we've signed up Leclerc as a driver, and now we've actually got 3 drivers rather than just 2. So Leclerc is actually ahead of Schumacher in the championship. Let's have a look at the mail. Is there an interview for us? Nope, no interview. Scouting. Jenson. Is that... He's smart and loyal. And another one. Don't worry about him. What can we look at next, guys? Let's have a look. The race car is complete for being fixed. 2.5 days for the next component. Anyway, we'll continue the next video for the series in the next video. So if you want to click the next one, I should upload it tomorrow, so just click on it down there, and I'll check you guys out shortly. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to like the video, and we'll talk soon.